Okay, so is it cheaper to drive to Livingstone or use another form of transport and rent or hire a vehicle here? What's cheaper? What's the cheaper option? In our case, we're doing it as an adventure and we actually took the train. But you see, the train first class is not that much cheaper than just getting the bus. It's only about 60 kwacha cheaper. So let's just say you take the bus to Livingstone, right? That's what, 320 kwacha. And you can get here quite comfortably. Get on a reliable bus. Most reliable at the moment is UBZ. Say you're the 2 or 3 of you. Let's say 3. That's 1 grand, okay? Or 900, and let's just round it off to 1 grand. 1 grand and you're here. And let's also say that's 1,000 and you're going back. So let's say 2 grand for 3 people. So if you're to now look at the cost of using your own vehicle driving here, say you have your 4x4 or your sedan vehicle, you're gonna need a full tank because Livingstone is about 480 kilometers, let's just say 500 kilometers from the capital city. Or the cost is even higher if you're coming from the Copper Belt. So yeah, so if you're to consider that cost, so we're gonna round it off. A full tank about 1/8, right? 1/8. If you're going on a long distance, you have to do some car preparations. You're gonna have to do some extra touch-ups, oil checks, filling up. Let's just round it off to 2,000, right? We're talking about Lusaka. You're coming from Lusaka, 2,000 for fuel. Okay, that's one way. So that would be your cost with public transport to and from. And that's for 3 people. If you're by yourself, that's even way less. Okay? If you're by yourself, the cost would only be about 650. Okay? And then and then you'd have to also go back, okay? Your cost going back. So with the car, you're gonna, just on fuel alone and things like that, you're gonna spend at least 4,000. 4,000. Or we can say 3,500 if you're trying to be economical as well. But say you were to come here with, if you were to come here with public transport, right? You can now have the option to rent a car. With that money you would have saved, you can easily rent a car for your stay here. So hiring and renting a car only becomes cheaper depending on how many days you're gonna be here. So if it's a short trip of about 4 days or so, less than 5 days, let's say 4 days. Day 1 is a traveling day. You're not gonna really rent a car on that day. So I'm gonna give you an example. Like on this one, this is 4 days for me. So day 1 is a traveling day. You're not really gonna do much. So the next 3 days you can hire a car. Then the last day, the day where you're leaving in the morning, the cool thing is with the rental company I'm using, they'll allow me on the last day, since it's just an early drop-off, they'll allow me to go drop off myself at the station, at the airport, and leave the keys, and they'll come get the vehicle there, and they don't charge me for that day. So for 3 days renting a car here, as you can see, it's only 500 a day. only 500 a day, you can get yourself a small vehicle like this, Toyota Vitz. Okay, you can get yourself like a Toyota Vitz. Fuel, I've only put in 250 because I know how these cars move. Only 250, and the bars haven't even moved yet. This is day one. Okay, quite neat. Yeah, so quite neat. And yeah, so you can already see. So if I add the amounts for the car hire 1.5 plus fuel, let me even round it off to 300. So we're at 1.8, right? So 1.8 plus the traveling fees and stuff, it still works out cheaper than driving yourself here. And there's another hidden cost for driving yourself here most people don't calculate. There's wear and tear. So that cost can vary quite greatly, and also it can really, and also if you drive yourself here, if anything happens, for example you get a tire burst, just any little issue, it's gonna be on you. And imagine just one tire, if you were to replace it, you're spending more than 700 now. So you have all those things. That's if anything unfortunate happens, you're gonna have to dish out money immediately. But if everything is good, you arrive well, you leave well, it doesn't mean that you saved money. There's a hidden cost of wear and tear, and there's gonna be great wear and tear on the trip. You're not gonna see the cost now, but you're gonna see the cost later on. So it's a trade-off. So you have to decide. So the only trade-off that's really happening here is about convenience. So do you want convenience of having your own vehicle to get to and from the destination, or do you want to be inconvenienced a little, get into the place, and then booking a car and having your convenience back and saving? You're gonna save a little, you're gonna save some money, and you're gonna save on wear and tear on your vehicle. So the option is up to you. So it all depends on the purpose of your trip and what you're trying to gain. If money is no object, of course just drive here. And also there's an issue of driving. So driving long distances also is hectic. It's not for everyone. So there's also that. Not everyone really enjoys driving long distances. I think it's a chore. I'm not a big fan of driving long distances. There's that too. So yeah, so that's what I want to tell you guys about. So sometimes you just have to really do the maths. The numbers never lie, and the numbers do say it is cheaper to not use your own vehicle to come to Livingston. I don't know about other places, because the amounts, it depends on the amounts of the car hire. So if you can get anything for 500 bucks per day, then I think it will be much cheaper to use the service of hiring a car at your destination rather than bringing your own. Yeah, so that wraps up the discussion. And next time, always just do the numbers, add it all up. The numbers never lie. We like ignoring the numbers. We always just think this is cheaper, this is better. But do the numbers. The numbers will surprise you. There's a lot of things the numbers say that's hidden. Okay? A lot of hidden truths are in the numbers. Do the maths, and you're gonna find the truth yourself.